Peter Piper pizza fast.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Peter Piper pizza is a pepperoni pizza people pick.
Okay, that works. All right.
And in español too.
All right, let's hear that.
Peter Piper pizza es la pizza pepperoni que las personas prefieren. Thank you.
Gotcha. All right, if anyone else in the audience can do that, you win an award. Okay, we'll find something for you. You get a free drink tonight, all right? So,
Oh my goodness.
well, that's awesome. All right, well, as I said, you guys have a lot of people to meet, a lot of different audiences you have to reach. But before we get into your new campaign, talk about, because you've been doing the same strategy for a while now, and you kind of went through a refresh.
Right.
Talk about what you had been doing briefly, so then we can get into how you're moving forward.
Sure. And just before I start, and thanks for having me, who has been to Peter Piper Pizza here? Okay, so a few of them. Okay, perfect. So, Tony Cavallo. Yes. So I'm going to start by just explaining what Peter Piper Pizza is. And you said it a little bit. We are a restaurant. We're food first, but we also have an arcade in all of the locations. 75% of our revenue comes from food. 25% of our revenue comes from games. So think of it as a family destination where obviously people are hungry. You want to solve the what's for dinner tonight or where do we go on the weekend. And then, of course, the kids and the parents have fun together. And we also have another component which is very important for the brand, which you mentioned. It is our all-you-can-eat Monday through Friday lunch buffet, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too, and the fundraising aspect. So I guess we'll talk about that too.
A lot of people they got to meet. So okay, so that's what you've been doing, and your strategy behind it. Before, as I said, I guess let's talk about the new strategy, the new the refresh, but how it had to change.
So we've been in Arizona. We're an Arizona native brand, and we're in Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, California. We're 50 years old. So with that comes some great awareness and preference and loyalty, but also a lot of opportunity too. Especially during the pandemic years and after the pandemic, a lot of people migrated to Arizona and Texas, as you know. And so there's, even though we're a 50-year-old brand, there's still an awareness opportunity for us. So we thought, how can we evolve the strategy to keep consistent and true to who we are, while at the same time better explaining what is Peter Piper Pizza for all these people that have not been to Peter Piper Pizza. Hopefully they can understand it after looking at the commercials.
Well, I mean, also the entertainment, the fun. As you said, your first priority is food, but the entertainment distinguishes you guys. So
Correct.
I would think that that's obviously. Did your KPIs change when you were starting this new strategy?
I mean, the KPIs, the consumers evolve, right? And the way people have fun these days is different than obviously 5, 10, 15 years ago. What we rely a lot on is the fact that we are in the business to, yes, feed you, but also help you create memories with your loved ones. And we thought that we needed to evolve the brand to better express that. So we're shifting from a brand positioning that was pizza made fresh, families made happy, and we migrated to a new positioning called the fun is baked in, which, by the way, we also translated into Spanish because, surprise, surprise, Arizona, Texas, obviously a lot of Hispanic consumers, and because we're a value brand, we're truly a middle America blue-collar brand. So for us, in these states, naturally, we over-indexed on the Hispanic demographic. So we also needed to make a better job connecting with the Hispanic demo in Spanish. Hence the Peter Piper.
Now you see that. Okay. All makes sense now. It's coming together.
Sense, yes.
Well, before we start talking more specifics about the campaign, can we watch the first video?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
People think trusting your gut is about instinct, but it's about deliciousness and fun too. We made it simple to trust your gut by combining pizza and games. And now, trusting your gut is twice as easy because Double Up is back for an even lower price. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas for $25.99. Whether you enjoy them in the restaurant or at home, you can double the fun for less by doubling up. So trust your gut and double up for $25.99. At Peter Piper Pizza, the fun is baked in.
So that's literally that campaign started yesterday. So you guys are.
So what are the results?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I have a lot of results, yeah. Well, actually, I'm happy to communicate that sales were very positive yesterday. So I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but I'm very happy today. But kidding aside, this campaign, it's a summary of a lot of things that we want to do. One, we are a price-sensitive kind of a brand or talk to price-sensitive consumers, hence the offer in your face at a new lower price. Then we also want to show everything we do, which is really hard to explain if someone doesn't know the brand. So hopefully you got a little bit of the gist of you can enjoy it at the restaurant, you can take it at home, you can have fun, you can play with your loved ones. And oh, by the way, the fun is baked in. The commercials, by the way, everything we do in linear TV or even digital, we do it in English and Spanish. I didn't send you the Spanish versions because I thought it would be easier for everyone to see. But everything that you see here is also made in Spanish.
Well, and so you're doing linear CTV. What does the space look like? What does your mix look like?
Well, I mean, linear for us, we've used linear for many, many years, and we are continuing to use linear. Yes, we are kind of exploring increasing advertising budget on CTV, on paid social, on YouTube video, etc. But linear for us has always been an important media, one, because of who we talk to. Again, we're talking about middle America, blue collar, people that are, work hard for their dollars, as we all do, but their budgets are finite. So a lot of these households are actually still watching linear TV. They may stream one or two platforms, but not necessarily have all the platforms. So it's almost like a safer bet to find them in linear TV.
Well, and so let's now talk, because we were mentioning so many different segments, which you are unusual, not you yourself.
Well,
Well, you as well. But Peter Piper Pizza is unusual in terms of your day parts. It's not the
Yes.
standard what you might see in most restaurants. So talk about that, because you're having to reach different audiences for each day part. So.
And it's interesting. And Tim, where's Tim? Tim is somewhere there. I am a chili head, always a chili head. Yes, I was at Chili's from 2007, 2011, so I could relate with a lot of things that you said. Peter Piper Pizza is, in a way, blessed as a brand because we have different people that come see us for different reasons. The Monday through Friday, all-you-can-eat lunch is mainly workers. You see construction workers, nurses, DirecTV installers, anyone that is working outside and just gets hungry at noon and it's like, where can I eat without breaking the bank? And that's why our lunch is $9.99 for an unlimited buffet. So then we migrate in the afternoon. In the afternoon, we see families, and those can be kind of a blue collar or more affluent, depending on where the restaurant is located. Those are the parents, mom or dad, that picked up the kids from school. They have a few hours to burn. They just go to Peter Piper, let them play, maybe get a pizza or maybe just an icy or a soda. And then at night, we see the what's for dinner tonight. And that's both in restaurant or takeout, which is more of solving that dinner problem, right? Then we migrate to the nights as well. We do a big component of our sales, around 6 or 7%, comes from fundraising nights. Because we're such a family brand, we partner with schools and we allow them to fundraise through us. So if a school organizes a family night at Peter Piper Pizza, they get 15 to 20% back of all sales that night. So it's a win-win for both parties, and we're busy. We're busy any given night on a Monday or a Tuesday, which is fantastic because that's usually days where restaurants are not necessarily busy. And then the last one is weekends. So weekends, we have families as well. We usually don't do fundraising events on weekends, but we have birthday parties because we are such a big restaurant. I mean, 10, 12,000, 14,000 square feet. We are known for hosting birthday parties.
Plus the arcades give the kids something to do. Well, I want to break it up in terms of what kind of messaging or channels that you're using for these different day parts to show how you, but before, why don't we watch we have one that's promoting the buffet.
Yeah, the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet.
Peter Piper Pizza's all-you-can-eat weekday lunch buffet. It's the perfect time to escape for all the made-from-scratch pizzas, handmade breadsticks, fresh chopped salads, and tasty desserts you can eat. begins 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, with prices starting at $9.99. At Peter Piper Pizza, the fun is baked in.
So which channels are working best for each segment, and how are you integrating them? Because obviously, that's a lot to come up with if
I
it's
know.
all separate.
So for Lunch Buffet, what we found, and this is something that we started doing in February, actually, about 5-6 weeks ago, we started going into more of the not only linear TV, but not with necessarily spots. We're actually buying properties inside linear TV. So think of the Monday or in the morning traffic report at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. It's sponsored by us, and then we have a banner that says Lunch Buffet $9.99. So thinking of ways, where can we find that consumer that is getting ready for the day, thinking that those people are usually out and about, they're working outside. So we actually implemented also a new media for us this year is gas stations TV. And so far, it seems to be working well. So when you put gas in your car, you have nothing to do, and you know how suddenly you see what's the name of that lady that always pops up with like a funny quote or something like that. Well, instead of that, you see now all you can eat lunch buffet. Hopefully you get hungry and you're like, okay, I'll go today. So we do TV, we do that. We're obviously pushing paid social in all the different day parts, but weekday buffets mostly in the morning, mostly a little bit more mass media, some radio as well. And then as we migrate to the different day part, for example, the dinner, that is mostly Meta. We have CTV. That is more like, let me reach out to you when you are actually streaming content, not necessarily in a morning occasion that I know that you're busy and you're leaving the house. So that's a little bit of a difference. And then birthdays is, through social, not TV. Birthdays is actually more paid social and a little bit of influencers as well.
Well, and so, but again, in terms of, do they work off each other? Like, do they support or optimize? You see one ad and then it somehow integrates with the other ad, or are they just completely separate?
We believe they do. I mean, not only they have the same, obviously the fun is baked in tagline, but more than that, I think that all the ads, our purpose is to have them build on top of each other. So even though this is a buffet ad, we say that pizzas are made from scratch. We say that, we show the space. So hopefully you get an idea of what Peter Piper is at. I'm not going to show gaming there because hopefully, well, I don't know, people can do whatever. But I mean, hopefully they're not playing, during their lunch break. In the other one, it's a little bit more relaxed, but we still have the cues of the fresh food, of the made from scratch. You see the dough, like things that are building on top of each other. So we treat all of these spots together as our branding campaign, because we don't have a branding spot. Everything that we do always has a price point attached to it.
Well, and so we talked a little bit about the KPIs, but in terms of how are you measuring the success of aside from yesterday's drop, but in general, what are you looking for to qualify it as a successful campaign?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, in the restaurant industry, it's all about traffic. It's all about butts in the seats. So we measure day parts differently. We put the advertising dollars behind buffet, behind those stats, those numbers that actually show us traffic during lunch. And then we measure dinner differently. But at the end of the day, we do brand attribute studies every so often. Obviously, it's important for us to raise awareness because of all these newcomers to the state. But at the end of the day, it's all about sales, traffic, and comp sales, of course, as you know.
Well, and you talk about, obviously the different segments, but also multicultural. You're wanting to meet these groups in relevant ways. How are you? Is that more about the social aspect of it?
We are actually buying media for the first time this year. For example, we partner with Telemundo. And everybody knows what Telemundo is, but instead of just investing with spots, we produce content with Telemundo. So the host of the morning came to the restaurant, spoke with us. We created 5 one-minute segments, each of them explaining each of these day parts. And then those segments are spread throughout the week during either the morning news show for lunch or through the day when people may have a little bit more time and leisurely watching Telemundo. Then we talk about birthday parties, we talk about dinner. At night, we talk to-go delivery, you know, like more of a call to action. So that's something new. I mean, we're always trying to, for us, given that we are in these states, and by the way, this is an important year because it's an election year, and media is super expensive. And Arizona, as you know, is now very purple, apparently. So regardless of whether you're blue or red and blue, the media cost in Arizona is high. So we don't have money to keep up with the politician ads. So what we thought about during this year is how can we still be part of the linear programming without necessarily paying for spots. And that's where we partner directly with each one of those TV channels to create content, both in Spanish and English.
Well, and I was wanting to ask you about that because with the election year, and I mean, all of you, I'm sure, are thinking the same thing. It's going to be saturated there, especially linear, which, as you said, is your bread and butter, where you tend to go. So you're partnering with these different channels, but what else are you doing? How else is it impacting your strategy in general?
Well, I mean, we shifted some of the dollars to radio because of who we talk to. So we're also doing more in radio this year than we've done before. And then we are also putting more money in paid social. So linear is remaining as one of the pillars, but as I said, it's less spots, more content, more spots on CTV, on digital video, and then increasing the budgets on radio and paid social.
Are they supporting each other in terms of, you know, we talked about the halo effect and impact and that kind of thing?
I believe so. I mean, the content varies a little bit. Obviously, these are 30-second spots. I'm not going to put this in digital. I mean, I have a 6-second lift, which is the one that we usually run in social or in digital. But we do. I mean, we also have a big layer on, and I know we're not, like Beth said, we're not talking about PR, but PR is an important component for us. It's an always-on approach. We are constantly doing things that are either National Tongue Twister Day. Did you guys know that there was that? Well, obviously we took advantage of that and we created the Peter Piper Pizza Tongue Twister. Pie Day was last week. It was huge for us. We got a lot of coverage. So we're always activating those snippets of things that are culturally relevant. And I think that everything builds on top of each other. We start with PR, then we have linear, then we have the different media channels. And hopefully, at the end of the day, it all combines and complements each other to tell the story of what Peter Piper Pizza is all about.
Right. Well, I'm going to open it up for questions from you, all of you. But I do want to just, in terms of this strategy going forward, you can see you're still offering the value. You're showing the value, but it's also the fun baked right in. Where are you seeing it going? Like, what are you looking forward to, or what are you most excited about moving forward to either delve into a certain channel or creative?
So, I mean, as a brand, we want to keep growing outside of the states where we're at. So we just implemented or started a new, smaller Peter Piper concept in Kansas City, and we're testing it out. It's not as big as the regular Peter Piper Pizza, but it still has an arcade and it has a buffet, and we're seeing how it does. So we are obviously interested in going out to other markets. We are in Mexico already, in the northern part of Mexico. We're also interested in franchising internationally. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity for the brand. There's a very few of brands like Peter Piper Pizza where you have all those things, and coming from casual dining in my previous life, not only with Chili's but with P.F. Chang's, it's usually lunch and dinner, and that's it. We have the opportunity to have guests come in all day, which is a really good thing for a restaurant brand, which usually has a lot of dead space or time. So, I mean, we're excited about growing the brand. I think that the fun is part of who we are. We want to keep kind of showing it, make sure that people understand that, yes, food is amazing, you can take it to go, you can have it delivered, but when you have more time, when you really want to spend some quality times with your loved ones, just come on over, as Tony Cavallo used to say, and then have a good time at Peter Piper Pizza.
Great. Any have questions?
Question.
Hi, Wes Fries from iSpot. I have a question about expansion for you guys. You know, I was a patron of the first Peter Piper Pizza original location for many years. It was near my house in Glendale when I grew up, and to watch the growth over the years. And now I live in Texas, so I'm able to imbibe in some Peter Piper over in Texas as well. But I'm curious to understand, like, as you guys think about other states and expansion opportunities, and maybe help us understand maybe like the O&O versus franchise opportunities. I think that'd be fascinating to hear as well.
Yeah, well, so far we have half of the restaurants are company-owned, half of the restaurants are franchised. In reality, it's a market. Like the Texas market is franchised, everything else is company-owned. As we look to grow, we're open to both. We're open to growing, like the Kansas City location is corporate, but I would say, not necessarily seeking franchisees. It's more of a kind of a wait, and we don't have a business development area. I guess that's my answer to you. However, we are entertaining franchisees that reach out to us to expand.
You looking to invest?
Yeah, talk to me.
I'm curious about your use of PR and how that seems to kick off a lot of other events. Are you reaching out to local media and getting them to run content for you? Are you just blasting out PR announcements? How do you handle that part of the funnel?
We do reach out to local media through media outreach. We have a PR firm that works with us. We activate, for example, every time that we do a new campaign, a new promotion, there's always the traditional vehicles, right? A press release, media outreach, but there's also a lot of opportunity to do fun things with media, you know, like thankfully Peter Piper has been in business for so long that we get asked a lot of kind of editorial opinion. We're part of the conversation, I guess, but we do it through a PR firm that helps us activate it.
Oh, in the back.
In the back, yeah. It's hard to
Get
see.
your steps in.
Hi, Genaro, thank you for the incredible details. Really fascinating. Sorry, Ryan Spicer at Atmosphere. I feel like every time I get up, I want to say Trent Grimm, the messenger. Anyway, sorry, if you watched Ted Lasso. You talked a lot about the days of the week. How about pulling out from a seasonality perspective? Because given that those days and that presence, like obviously that's a very consistent message. So are you in market 52 weeks a year, or do you approach it from a seasonality? Like that's it's difficult to have presence. So how do you think about seasonality as sort of that layer on top of the weekly ritual that you described and the daily ritual?
That's a fantastic question. I wish I was in market 52 weeks of the year, but no. We are about, I would say, 40 to 42 weeks of the year, which is pretty good. We do see and we know the seasonality. I mean, we know that summer is a super high time for us. Kids are out of school. Where to take the kids? In Arizona, Texas, it gets really hot. So obviously, parents or caregivers are looking for a solution where everyone can have a good time and cool off. So we know that summer is a big seasonality for us. Pizza, as you know, it's, I think, besides Chinese, which I also worked in Chinese before randomly, it's one of the two most delivered foods in the U.S. So there's dates in the year where we know we need to be competitive and we know we need to push more media message. It's very, very competitive, by the way. I mean, pizza, think of how many pizza brands are out there. It's really hard. The one thing that we started doing too, and I forgot to say, this year we started investing in SEM a little bit differently. And we're doing more with search. And we also made some changes to the website, so it kind of index SEO, SEM. That has been actually really good for us. Like, for example, Lunch Buffet, click-through rates are above 40%, which is amazing. I mean, considering that the industry is like 3 to 4%. So, I mean, we're constantly doing things a little bit innovative, a little bit. It's a little bit of business as usual, where we know every summer is going to be good, every Pi Day is going to be good, every Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, things that we know that are going to happen, but also how do we become more relevant during those times where everyone is dealing, and you're going to get a bunch of messages from all of the competitors out there.
Anyone else? All right, Genaro, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.